Hey, what is up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. So today we are finally finishing up our update 1.31 car reviews. This time with the most awaited one of the bunch, the Audi RS5 DTM Turbo from 2019. Certainly the most hyped of update 1.31, however, does it really hold up and is it actually worth the credits that you'll be putting out for this machine? And I'm glad to say that yes, this thing is worth the money, and it certainly sits in its own category in terms of Group 2 machines. So if you want to purchase this thing, you can pick it up from the Audi dealership for 1,000,000 credits. It's got a 2-litre engine, putting out 603 brake horsepower and weighing only 906 kilograms. And, well, it's turbocharged, but it also has another awesome little feature, which is the DRS on the back of the spoiler. It comes out at a total of 812.75 performance points. I'd honestly be happy to say that you are getting a lot of bang for your buck, even if this is a bit more expensive than the other Group 2s. So if you've never joined me for a review, this is how it's going to work in terms of race cars. Because this is a race car, it will not be participating in the high speed ring hot lap leaderboard. That is mainly for modified road cars only. However, it will still do the hot lap in its bog standard version around the Nordschleife. So let's talk about the Audi DTM Turbo from 2019 and why I think this is definitely a superb addition to the game, mainly for one reason. It opens up the floodgates to allow other DTM cars to return to Gran Turismo 7, and in fact this is the most recent addition actually for DTM cars since 2004 with Gran Turismo 4. Since then we've only ever had rehashes, so for all these years later, almost 20 years actually, we finally have a new DTM car in Gran Turismo, and that being the Audi RS5 DTM Turbo, and it's a fantastic machine. It certainly fills a bit of a void in Group 2, where it just doesn't seem like there's much of a selection. You kind of have your 08 models, your 2016 models, and then you have some of the more legendary ones such as the McLaren GTR Longtail and the Mercedes CLK. And in all honesty, this is a welcome addition. And like I said, if it opens up the floodgates for other 2019 DTM cars to come to the game, then it is more than welcome. However, it does have a few key differences to the other cars, especially the 2016 models. Now, from my understanding, these were built to the same spec around the year of the Super GT cars. So in 2019, as far as I know, they were running less aero and they were just much faster. And it obviously has a DRS system on the rear wing, which is fantastic, and you may see it moving about during this video. So it certainly feels different enough from the rest of the Group 2s and definitely feels a unique addition. So what you may notice on the exit of corners, and it isn't just the physics, I think it's overall to do with the aero on these cars, with them running less aero than the 2016 models. On exit of corners, it will absolutely skid up its wheels and may feel like it's just going to get away from you. That is just partly due to the fact that the aero just isn't there, or isn't there as much as something like the 2016 models. If you go and try them out after trying the DTM, you will notice that they feel much better on corner exit. However, in terms of its top speed, it is fantastic and certainly a very potent car, hitting upwards of 183 miles an hour down the straights with no BOP and no upgrades. It's a quality little machine, and it really does feel like once you are getting going with this thing and what aero is there does kick in, it will suck itself to the ground and definitely remove that kind of brutish nature under acceleration. So from a performance standpoint, this is a solid car and definitely sits in a little void of its own, kind of in between the 08 models and kind of below the 16 models. In my opinion, those 16 models are fantastic overall grip machines that really do allow you to basically tackle everything with no complaints. They are insanely quick, grippy cars, where this one kind of just sits a little bit back from those, not by much, but it is noticeable, and it certainly isn't as kind of slow as some of those 08 cars. They are massively outdated, in comparison to these two, but this car definitely doesn't kind of live up to the 2016 models kind of overall track speed. But that doesn't take away from it being a unique addition to Gran Turismo 7. It is a fantastic car and I really cannot find fault with it. It does exactly what I expected it to. So I guess if I had to nitpick, maybe the sound design just seems a little bit off. You will kind of get the sort of typical sound of what you'd expect it to sound like in the low revs. However, when you start picking up speed, the growl is just kind of a little bit overwhelming. And when you kind of see this car in footage, it almost doesn't make that sound. It just seems like the sound design's very much just not there with this car. But that's kind of just nitpicking at it. So there we have it. It's just the sound design that's the only downside of this car. Overall, it is a fantastic little machine that kind of sits on its own in the Group 2 category and is a worthy addition overall to the category as a whole. And I certainly hope this really does open the floodgates for Polyphony to decide, you know what, we are going to put the rest of the 2019 models in the game and get them kind of in their own kind of group, which will be fantastic, because at least then we have, you know, the Super GTs from 2016, the 08 models, and then we'll have the DTM cars from 2019, as well as the, you know, kind of oddball legendary cars that sit in Group 2. And I certainly think that should be the way it should go. Sadly, DTM cars, well, aren't what I call a DTM car anymore. They're, you know, a GT3 spec championship, at least for now anyway. So to see this car kind of ingrained in Gran Turismo is a fantastic addition and really does bring to light just how awesome these cars were. I'd fully recommend, if you've never actually seen these things race, to go ahead and check them out. These kind of tier 1 touring cars were absolutely incredible beasts. They sound great, they look great, and they had some of the best racing that I've actually ever seen in my entire life. This is a fantastic car. I really have no complaints with it. I'm glad to see it in Gran Turismo 7, and I think nearly every player should basically add this to their garage. So if we talk about it from Gran Turismo's perspective, it's definitely a worthy addition and a worthy pickup, mainly because you will earn that money back in absolutely no time. Once tuned to 800 performance points, this is a fantastic grinding car. Whilst no, it's not necessarily the best in the game currently, it's a very easy build to achieve, and overall it's a very usable build. It's kind of not too much and it's kind of not too little. It really does fill that middle ground of being an easy overall drive and a fantastic grinding car. So if you are a grinding player or someone that likes to get the credits, then you 100% need to own this car. So in terms of its overall lap time around the Nordschleife, it actually comes overall in 16th place, just a bit back, around about 3 seconds back from something like the Honda NSX Concept, the Nissan GTR from 16 as well, and the Lexus. So, you know, whilst it doesn't kind of sit in that void, it's also much quicker, as you can see at the bottom there, than the 08 models by around about 6 seconds a lap minimum. So it is a fantastic car. It sits in its own kind of world currently within Group 2, and it's definitely one you want to pick up. So there we have it. That is the update 1.31 cars all done and reviewed, and in all honesty, it was a great selection of cars, with only really one car being, you know, pretty weak out of the bunch. Overall, the other cars are fantastic, and that is going to conclude my reviews for them. I may bring out a ranking video. I'll also have up a money method for this Audi tomorrow, as well as a few other money methods coming throughout the week, especially when the Suzuki Pikes Peak does finally return. I've kind of been holding that guide off for a while because I feel like it's a little bit pointless to put it out now when most people don't necessarily have the vehicle since it's been gone for such a long time. We also have news of the SF23 coming to the game, which is fantastic. It kind of hints at the next update coming at the end of April, or at least late April. So yeah, I'll bring up a video on that tomorrow. I'll talk a little bit about the SF23 as well as the money method for the DTM. That's going to be it from me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn your notifications on so you don't miss an upload from me. I upload GT7 and motorsport content each and every day for your viewing pleasure. Big thank you to my channel members and my sponsors, the Controller People and Poggers, for their continued support. My Discord, my Twitter, and my donation link will be down in the description below, and I'll see you all later on. Have a fantastic day, guys. Peace.